Hi, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to bring you a card today that I made for a colour combo blog hop, and it's a no stamp card. It's all made with die cuts, and the colour combo was Bumblebee, Pool Party and Melon Mambo. So I'm going to make it again. I'm going to change the colours up. And what's wonderful about this card is it's a great way to use up scraps, and it shows the lovely new mini die cutting machine, because all the dies can be cut using it, which is just fabulous. So I've used the Perennial Petals dies, so they're absolutely beautiful. They do go with a stamp set, Pretty Perennials, but as I say, I'm just using the dies in this card, and I'm using the well-written dies for the sentiment, and I made this one a thank you. I might turn this one into happy birthday. And so I've picked out my colours. So I'm gonna, these are my scrap pouches. I keep these with the cardstock, so I've got my cardstock organised in colour, and then I have one of these with the full sheets, and so when I need a scrap I can just have a look in here. And I keep things this small because some of those dies are really tiny, so I don't like to waste. So that's my little tip. So Mossy Meadow, Favourite Green, and I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. And we know those two colours go together because they once appeared as in colours together, which was where I first was introduced. I'm going to use Bumblebee, because I think that does actually make a really nice centre of a flower and goes well with those. And then I want to pick out these smaller elements, and I'm going to use Rich Raspberry rather, because I think that will go really well with Blackberry Bliss. So those are the colours I'm doing. So I'm going to start with cutting this beautiful leaves in Mossy Meadow, and I'm just going to demonstrate the die cutter, and then I'll probably speed up for the rest of it. So let's get, so we've got this beautiful leaf flourish. I'll probably get two out of there, and then we've got these leaves as well, and you cut two at the same time, which is quite fabulous. So let's get our die cutter. So it's like the big one but smaller, so the sides fold down and you've got lots of plates. It comes with a base plate, a cutting plate, a top plate, and then you get plates for using our embossing folders. So you've got a thin one for using with a 3D and a thicker one for using with the standard embossing folders, and our new smaller embossing folders fit this machine. So that's my cutting mat. This is slightly too wide. I'm just going to slice off a little bit there, then it'll fit in. So it's just over 3.5 inches wide. Yes, but the plates are slightly smaller. They are 3.5 inches. So I'm going to place that on there, and in my little space I'm going to put, actually that's slightly off the plate, so I'm going to do it that way. And then, just like any die cutter, you just turn and it will cut them in one pass. There we go, perfect cuts. And what I love is, doesn't matter how messy my desk is, this fits on. I quite like that. It's quite light, which I like as well, really easy to pick up. I do suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, so moving heavy machines around is quite problematic for me, so this is great. So how beautiful is that? And it's just really handy as well if you were travelling to just take this little machine with you. And the vast majority of die cutting that I do, this size is actually enough. Don't need the bigger one. Obviously there are some dies that I do need the bigger one for, but mostly this is all I need. So we'll just cut this again. Just take this off now. I always think it's a shame that you end up with marking your plates, but that's just the way it is. There, that'll just fit on. You can get a magnetic platform for this, but I think they were having design problems, so they're not available at the moment. But I use the magnetic plate all the time on my big shot, and I haven't felt the need for it with this one, possibly because it's such a small platform that they don't move so much. So that is my leaves cut out. So I'm going to carry on and cut out all the flowers that I need for this card, but I'll do it speeded up. So that's all the bits cut out. So now it's just a matter of assembling it on the card, and I'm going to be mindful of needing to have the happy birthday on there. So that will help me to think about how these are going to be positioned. And I popped that one up on dimensional, so just got a couple of little leaves dotted around, and I think that will work quite nicely. So they are, some of them are quite thick and some need a bit of a thinner bit of glue. I like to put my Tombow in one of these little pots here, and that helps me get a much thinner bit of glue coming out, which is perfect for these little dies. Now you might have noticed that I didn't bother saving the eye, the dot for the eye in Birthday. That's because I generally use a gem rather than stick the eye on. Just think that adds a little bit of something to the card, and it saves me remembering that I need it. There we are. So I've got those two curly bits joining together, but I think that's looks quite nice. So let's get rid of them. There we go. So I hope you're enjoying all the new products from the new catalogue, and that you've managed to get some of your wish list. I know I haven't got all of mine, and I hope that you're all coping with lockdown 3. We unfortunately have been poorly. I'm still very poorly, but forcing myself to do things rather than spending all the time in bed or on the sofa. Haven't managed to get dressed for 5 days, but I need to be kind to myself. I do have difficulty breathing sometimes, so I'm talking a bit slower than normal. This virus is not very nice. I don't recommend it at all. Right, so just taking a breather. I didn't want to miss my schedule. Because I don't know if you're like me, but do turn to YouTube. Lovely creative videos a lot. And I do craft a lot online with people, and I find that helps. So that's why I decided not to miss any videos. I just might be a bit slower. I'll be joining my sister in a minute when I've done this. And we are grateful that the lockdowns, I'm going to stick the middle of that on first, have actually meant that we spend more time together crafting online. She calls it a one-to-one tuition. and is now making amazing things. There we are. So they do come together really quite nice, and you can use any colour that you like. I just think these are lovely dies, and I really do actually need to make something with this set that that uses just the stamp set. Because that's very lovely too. I think this looks a little bit like the coronavirus. So I do apologise for not talking very much. And then we just need the eye for the birthday. So I'm going to take a pearl and Happy Bliss. And that's it. Oh, and I probably need to lie down. So all the details will be over on nigezza.co.uk, and I will link to the blog hop, and there's links to my shops.